Hello guys, welcome to math class. This week we are going to learn how to divide by a two-digit whole number. Our objective is to use models to visualize the relationship between division and multiplication to divide decimals by two-digit whole numbers. By the end of this lesson, we will be able to divide decimals by two-digit whole numbers. So through the examples in this video, I will model how to divide a decimal by a two-digit number. So double digits. So let's start with 23 and 4/10 divided by 13. So we're going to rewrite this. We want to work our long division process, and 23 and 4/10 is our dividend. So this number comes inside or underneath the division bar. 13 is our divisor, and it goes out here. As we did before, the first thing we do when we realize that the divisor is a whole number is to bring our decimal point straight up. So that's exactly what I will do right now. I will bring my decimal point straight up. Okay, there we have it. It is aligned. So now we are ready to go through the division process. Those steps are at the top of your screen. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat. It's the same exact process and the same exact steps as when we divide whole numbers, or like we did in the previous lesson when we divide decimals by one-digit divisor. Nothing has changed as far as that goes. We just have two digits on the outside, and now we're going to start our process. So like we did before, we look at the first digit, 2, and we're going to try and divide 2 by the divisor, 13. We realize that 13 is greater than 2, therefore the division is not possible. So we're going to take the first and second digits. So we'd say 23 divided by 13. We know that 13 times 1 equals 13. And we could try a higher number. So let's say 13 times 2 would be 26. That's going to be too much. It overpasses the 23 we're looking for. So we're going to use 1. We're going to write 1 in our quotient right above the number 3 to show that we are using both digits. Now we divide the 1 in the quotient by the 13 in our divisor. 1 times 13 equals 13, and we subtract. 23 minus 13 is 10. And after subtracting, we bring down the next digit. In this case, our next digit is a 4. Now we repeat. So we have 104 divided by 13. Once again, we are going to try and multiply 13 by any digit between 1 and 9, looking for a number that brings us close enough to 104 or exactly to 104. So we know that 13 times 1 is 13 and 13 times 2 is 26. So maybe we want to try 13 times. Let's try 13 times 5. So we know that 5 times 3 is 15. We carry 1. And 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. So that would be 65. That is still very far away from the 104 we're looking for. So let's try 8. Let's try 13 times 8. We know that 8 times 3 is 24. Carry 2. And then, well, that too looks kind of funny, huh? I'll try that again, just so we're clear. There you go. And 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 that we're carrying is 10. This brings us exactly to the amount we're looking for. So we're going to write the number 8 in our quotient. I will keep that after the decimal point above the number 4 to show the up to which digit I am dividing. Now I multiply. 8 times 13 is 104. I subtract. 104 minus 104 is 0. So we have completed our division process and reached our quotient, which is 1 and 8 tenths. Let's try a second example. Just like before, I'm going to draw the division bar. The dividend, in this case, it will be 84 and 8 tenths belongs underneath the division bar. And outside we have 16. This is our divisor, or the number that will be dividing the dividend. First of all, we bring our decimal point straight up. There we have it. Okay. Now we start doing the same thing we did before. I'll try taking this number, the first digit. 8 divided by 16 is impossible. This is something that might be obvious to you because this is a single digit while the divisor is a 2-digit number. So that's a clue to help us know that we must take both first and second digits in order to divide. So we have 84 divided by 16. Once again, we can try numbers between 1 and 9 to find a number that brings me close enough or exactly to 84. So I'm going to start by trying 3. Let's see how that goes. Let me try and multiply 16 times 3. So 3 times 6 is 18. I'll write 8 and carry 1. And then 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 that I'm carrying is 4. So that's 48, which is not close to 84. So I probably should try to use a higher number. So let's try 5. Let's see how we go. Let's try 16 times 5. So 6 times 5 is 30. I'm carrying 3. And 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 that I'm carrying is 80. So I think that 80 is close enough. 80 is close enough to 84. So I am going to use that number 5 in my quotient. So I'm going to write 5 on top of the 4 to show that I'm using both digits. Next, I'm going to multiply. 16 times 5, I already figured out that's an 80, and I subtract. 84 minus 80 is 4, and after subtracting, I bring down. So now I have 48, and I repeat all the steps in my process. So I'll start by dividing again. 48 by 16. 48 by 16 is 3, exactly 3. I'll keep that 3 up here because 3 times 16 is no other than 48. And if I want to subtract this, 48 minus 48 is 0. So my quotient for the second example is 5 and 3 tenths. I'd like to end this video with a quote on the screen. Just because something is difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't try. It just means you should try harder. I definitely invite you to try and try again. Whenever it's math we're talking about, practicing, trying, making mistakes, and doing it again is the best way to become successful at it. And keep in mind that each and every one of you is the best. So let's put our knowledge into practice, guys.